Good afternoon.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the time to meet with us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
My name is Tiffany Esposito. I'm the CEO of the Bonita Springs Area Chamber of Commerce, and this group is the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers. We represent 8 chambers of commerce, 6,000 businesses, and over 300,000 residents and constituents, both in Lee and Collier counties. And we are doing candidate interviews. We are recording this call, and we'll be posting all of the candidate interviews on our websites and on our social media. So thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you.
Before we get started, we'll go ahead and just do some brief introductions, and then we'll get into our questions. So Colleen, Donna, Dave, Jenna, then Chris.
Good afternoon. Thanks for being here today. My name is Colleen, and I am with the Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, I'm Donna Germain. I'm the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Cape Coral. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
Good afternoon. I'm David Miller with the Chamber of Southwest Florida.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jenna Bazzacco Forrester. I'm the Director of Government Relations at the Greater Naples Chamber.
Hi.
Hi, Josh. My name is Chris Lopez, and I am a member of many of the chambers present here, and I consult with the Alliance as well. Welcome.
Hi. Well, nice to meet you all.
So if you want to start off with just telling us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as you may know, I'm Joshua Lopez. I'm running for State House District 77. I am a near lifelong resident of Southwest Florida. I was born in Puerto Rico. I came here when I was young, and I've stayed here ever since. I went off to school in UF and FSU, and I came back home after all was said and done, decided to build my life here. I have been a licensed attorney for 10 years, and I bought a house in Cape Coral, have a wife and a 2-year-old daughter, and so this is where I plan to stay. I like this area, but I think that we can definitely make it better so that it's a good area for everybody to come and visit or come and live in.
Thank you. And what prompted you to run for office?
One of the things that really bothered me is that people in Tallahassee are really more concerned about their donors and about special interests than seeking solutions, and that might be a side effect of there being no real change of leadership in Tallahassee in the past 20 years. But I think it's time for new ideas up there, and I think that I am one of the people that can go there and make sure that the people of my district are heard. So that's why I decided to run. I think that we need some better representation of the people of Southwest Florida and of my district, which is Cape Coral.
And what makes you qualified to represent the business community?
Well, I have been in private business for 10 years as an attorney. I was hired as an attorney by what is now called Fort Myers Law Firm. Right now, I'm the lead attorney here. So I, even though my primary profession is of attorney, of course, has business aspects. You know, having to run this organization, and I think that private business, especially small and medium businesses, are the driver of prosperity, not just here but around the country. And I think that we need to promote a healthy environment in which private business can flourish, and that's why I believe I am the best candidate for this seat. I have that real belief in me.
Thank you. And in your opinion, what is the most pressing issue facing the Southwest Florida business community? And if elected, what would you do to address this issue?
Yes, the most pressing issue for the business community is the most pressing issue for the community writ large, which is climate change. And Florida is surrounded on 3 sides by water. Climate change will cause stronger hurricanes, more frequent hurricanes, will cause beach erosion, will cause more flooding, higher temperatures, will affect our health, and will physically affect Southwest Florida. And so the sooner we take that on, the better we can preserve our businesses and our economy here. And I believe there are certain ways that we can tackle it. I believe in a bottom-up approach, not a top-down approach to tackle climate change. A bottom-up approach involves pricing carbon and making sure that emitters of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases have to pay for their emissions. And the elegance in that is that it uses the power of the market to achieve an end that is healthy for not just the economy, but everybody in this district. I also believe that we should invest more in renewable energy. I believe that the Sunshine State should be the solar power state as well. So it's climate change is our biggest long-term problem, and when I say long-term, I don't mean 100 years from now. This is something that it's going to start being a problem pretty soon. In fact, we've seen in the past few years that weather's been altered. The rainy season's happening earlier and earlier. Hurricanes are getting more frequent and more stronger. I remember just before Irma, Cape Coral had some flooding from summer rainstorms. That wasn't from a hurricane, that was from summer rainstorms. And so I think the sooner we take that on, the sooner we can limit the damage to our businesses and our economy.
Thank you. So as you know, Southwest Florida's economy is heavily dependent on leisure and hospitality sectors. So if elected, what would you do to encourage economic diversification in the region?
What I will do for that particular industry, well, I believe that a healthy economy and a healthy Southwest Florida economy starts with a healthy environment. We cannot see what we've been seeing the past few years with water pollution, with red tide and cyanobacteria. That's driving away tourism and is bad for our entire economy. So I plan to make it one of my priorities to regulate runoff, agricultural runoff from upstate, and that makes it to Lake Okeechobee, that makes it to this coast and to the other coast as well. We cannot see what we've been seeing with the government up in Tallahassee being too cozy with special agricultural interests. And I believe that the sooner we place that under control, we can get our water quality under control. We can start see people start coming back to the beaches and to the Everglades and to visit back here. And again, climate change also comes back into it. If our community is physically destroyed or damaged, then we won't see the level of tourism that we are accustomed to seeing. So the quicker we make sure we have a healthy environment, the better our situation will be. And of course, the environment is just one piece of the puzzle to ensure that we have a healthy hospitality sector. I believe that we should be encouraging other reforms. So we should be encouraging zoning reform here in in Florida to make sure that businesses, especially hotels, can invest in more efficient and better construction to make sure that we can get more customers here. We can get more tourism dollars, and those businesses can survive and thrive. And we need to pass these reforms now while we're in the downturn, so that when the upturn comes, which it will come, we're able to take advantage of tourism, which will come back. And I believe that it will come back. There'll be a surge once our current pandemic passes. There'll be a surge because of pent-up demand. People do want to come down here, and we have to be ready for that.
Thank you. So the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers was formed in the wake of the 2018 water crisis, and we have made water quality our #1 priority. That's what we were created on, and it remains our #1 priority. So if elected, what specific projects would you advocate for to improve and protect Southwest Florida's water quality?
Yes, I already mentioned regulation of agricultural runoff, so that will be one of my top priorities. The other top priority would be to make sure that some of the water from Lake Okeechobee be redirected down to the Everglades. We altered the natural flow of the water, and that's one of the causes of our water quality problem, because now the releases from the lake come down this way to our coast, and then to the other coast as well. So restore the natural flow of the water, and then we can address a lot of the water quality issues that way. We also have to invest in mitigation. So I know that some municipalities here are investing in bubble curtains and in Cape Coral, and are investing in cleanup of the water. So mitigation and cleanup are also pieces of the puzzle. We need to get state support for municipalities to ensure that we can clean up the water. But the top priority is prevention.
Great. So you've talked a lot about this, but if you'd like to elaborate, are there any specific actions do you think lawmakers should take to improve and protect Southwest Florida's waterways?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
What specific actions do you think lawmakers should take to improve and protect Southwest Florida's waterways?
Yes. I mean, I've gone into this, but regulation of runoff. Right now, I think that Florida government is listening too much to agricultural interests, especially to sugar growers, and not enough to our communities here in Southwest Florida. And we depend on tourism. That's a cornerstone of our economy. And I know that in Central Florida, they do need to grow their crops. They need to do what they need to do. However, that doesn't mean that they can just do it in a way that harms our interests. So we need to make sure that we regulate in a way that we can still have healthy waterways here. I think we have a hierarchy of things that we need to do. First, we need to deal with prevention, and that's where we start on. We prevent pollution at the source, which is agriculture. Then we deal with redirection, which means redirect the water flow of the Lake of Okeechobee down to through the Everglades. And the third thing that I need to do is mitigation and cleanup, and that's what I was just talking about, that we need to support our municipalities. I think that municipalities and local governments and county governments are best situated to deal with cleanup, and I think that I support local governments dealing with local issues, and I think that that's the best way to go forward on that aspect of cleanup for local governments.
Great. And one last question. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about you or your priorities?
Well, I have spoken about my priorities, which are climate change and water quality and the environment. I think that I've said a lot about that, but I think that that's the best way to ensure that we have a healthy economy and a healthy business environment to support our environment. I do have other ideas in mind that I will pursue once I'm in Tallahassee that would be good for our businesses and our economy. I think that we should promote better zoning regulations or better zoning laws to make sure that we have a good level of density here to promote well, to save costs for businesses and to have more potential employees and more potential customers live within range of our businesses. I think that that affordable housing is a part of that. If we're able to get more workers here and more potential residents here, I think that and that to live affordably, and I think that they will be able to use their surplus income to spend at our local businesses, thereby improving our economy. I also support reform of occupational licensing. I supported the House Bill 1193. I think that was a good idea, but I think we can go further on that and ease some of those restrictions so that we can loosen up that pool of talent. So the other thing that I want to touch on is the Florida Competitive Workforce Act, and that deals with increasing protections on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation. I know the Supreme Court made a major decision a couple of days ago on that, but I think we still need to pass that legislation here in Florida to make sure that we're welcoming towards LGBT workers and entrepreneurs. And I think that if we're welcoming to those individuals, then that will be good for our economy because we won't be turning away potential talent. So, and the other thing as well that I want to go into, I want to promote more social services to unburden business. In America as a whole, U.S. corporations spent over $1 trillion on health insurance, and I think that if we are able to have more social services, we can unburden some of that cost of from businesses, and businesses will be able to hire more and be more flexible, and I think that will be good for our economy as well. So there are a lot of things that we can do to promote healthy economy and promote a strong business environment here. But my priority, I always come back to this, is to make sure we have a healthy environment because that physically affects the area that we live in. And if we don't have a healthy environment, then we don't have any economy. If people don't want to come here, then it all goes away. So that's my top priority.
Great, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Like I said, we'll be posting these on our websites and our social media, and we wish you luck in the election.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.